Start?
Okay.
Something.
Alright, go ahead and set now.
I gotta wait till 9 o'clock to live here.
Alright, today I'm just going to go over a little bit of the history of Valentine's Day. And here's my audience. So of course, we've got the obligatory audience shot here.
Fingers away.
Okay, oops, sorry.
That handsome guy.
Yeah.
Right here. Right here.
All right. So a couple of things I'm going to cover is just the history of Valentine's Day, why we celebrate it, what it's all about, and just the general origins of it and what it's morphed into. So basically the history of Valentine's Day started in ancient Rome. It was actually a pagan holiday celebrated because of the Roman gods. They all decided that they needed to celebrate a goddess by the name of Lupercalia. And basically she was a fertility goddess. So of course the Romans were all about their fertility, and they celebrated the holiday on the 15th of February was actually the original date. However, the eve before, what they would do is they would take all of the girls' names in the villages and put them in a jar. The boys would go in and they would pull out the girls' names, and they would basically pair up throughout the festival for dances and stuff like that. Some of them actually blossomed into romances, and they ended up getting married. Now, in ancient Rome, of course, we had all the emperors, and during this time, it was actually Claudius II. He was the ruling emperor, and he was not happy because he was having a really hard time defending the Roman Empire against the Turks, the Gauls, the Slavs, the Mongolians, pretty much everyone that was trying to take over the Roman Empire. So he decided that he needed to enlist the help of many soldiers. Well, as many of us here in the military know, if you're married, it makes life a little bit more difficult, and you really don't want to give up your family time if you don't have to. So Claudius II decided to basically put a ban on all engagements and all marriages. Well, as you can imagine, not a whole lot of people were very happy about that, and they started to rebel. So what they did is they talked to Valentine, who was a Roman priest at the time, and he did not agree with a ban on the engagements or marriages, so he would perform the sanctity of matrimony for these couples in secret. Well, of course, all things that are secret eventually come out, unfortunately. And when Claudius II found out, he arrested Valentine, who wasn't a saint at this time. He was still mortal. He hadn't been murdered yet. So they sat down and they kind of discussed things, and Valentine stuck by his beliefs that he was all about the Christian religion at that time. He was actually one of the first ones to didn't believe in the Roman gods. Wasn't a pagan. He was a Christian, and said that no, he was sticking by his religion, and he wasn't going to give it up no matter what the emperor said. And if he wanted him killed, so be it. So Claudius II said, well, you know, I honor your beliefs, but at the same time, I'm the emperor, and I still believe in the pagan gods. If you don't give up your religion, you will be executed. So he actually beheaded him. So all things in love and war, unfortunately. So after Valentine, it was said that he was actually killed on the 14th of February, and so that's why we actually celebrate Valentine's Day on the 14th of February in honor of the martyred priest Valentine. It was acknowledged as a Christian holiday, even though it has pagan origins, and that's where it came from. But finally, the Roman Catholic Church decided that it actually is not a Catholic holiday. It is a pagan holiday, and they don't actually acknowledge it anymore. And it's not they don't actually consider Valentine a saint. So even though he was martyred in the name of the church, basically for his beliefs. So. Now, how did we go from having somebody perform the sanctity of matrimony in secret to chocolate, flowers, rings, all that kind of stuff, and Valentine's? Well, people like to express themselves in different ways, obviously. Valentine's Day is now a huge commercial holiday, as we all know. In fact, greeting cards companies sell 25% of all their cards on Valentine's Day.
Dang.
And this is throughout the world. It's not just in the United States. It's international. Since it is a Christian holiday, a lot of different countries actually do celebrate it. And so Valentine's came about because people, if they were far away, they would send really elaborate Valentines. They were made with lace and ribbons, and they'd have pictures of birds on them. And one of the things I found out in doing all of my research on this is that the birds were said to actually mate in February, which if you think about it, that's about right because they start giving birth in March and April. So the birds are really prominent on some of the older Valentines that we see. Angels and cherubs and Cupid obviously are very prominent also. Cupid was a Roman god. He's said to shoot his arrow at people and make them fall in love. So that's why we see Cupid a lot. Flowers are another big thing. Roses, especially, the different colors have different significances. Red is love, yellow is friendship, peach is honesty. So there's a whole different color. There's a whole color scheme out there. Depending on what color you get, is the significance of it. Chocolates. Chocolates are a huge thing, especially in not only the American society, but if you go up into Switzerland, Austria, Germany, anywhere in Europe, chocolates are a huge business also. People like sweet things. So, and you know, if you give it to somebody you like and you say, "Be my Valentine," well, "Be My Valentine" actually comes back to the priest Valentine. It was said that when he was awaiting execution, because obviously they didn't say, "I'm going to behead you" and just chop his head off there. They kept him in jail for a while. He signed a note and it said, "Be my Valentine," and that's how we came about to saying "Be my Valentine" on greeting cards. So, through the long history, Valentine's Day has completely morphed from celebrating somebody that made himself a martyr, and now we have a very elaborate holiday that we celebrate in different ways. Thank you.